Bonjour, Indinaway Maganuk. Hello, my dear relatives. I'm an Anishinaabe from Couchiching First Nation in Treaty 3 territory and from North Bay in Robinson-Huron Treaty territory. I belong to the Bear Clan. My spirit name is White Wolf, and the name my mother gave me is Aaron Mills. I'm very grateful to be part of the Walrus Talks and to be here on the traditional territory of Coast Salish peoples. I imagine you've all heard similar introductions from Indigenous peoples previously, but such an introduction isn't just a political statement or declaration of cultural pride, something important for me to share, but perhaps not so much for you to hear. On the contrary, I think it's urgent for you to hear, because such an introduction is expressly about Indigenous law and Indigenous governance, and it invites your participation. My hope at Canada 150 is that Canadians will stop reducing Indigenous law to cultural aesthetics and activism, and instead develop their capacity to identify and to participate within the work it's already doing for our relationship with one another and with place. And in this talk, I want to suggest how one might go about that. 6 days ago, I was listening to Dakota Elder Catherine Whitecloud share what she emphasized as the single most important thing to understand about one's place in community and in the world: how to be a good relative. It's a message that resonates strongly with the teachings of Elder Bessie Mainville, my grandmother, and in fact, Ndinaway Maganiduk, all my relations, is the very first word she taught me in Anishinaabe. Within Indigenous systems of law, being a good relative is what keeps families, communities, and peoples together. My introduction presented you with opportunities to relate with me in these various ways. Being a good relative is our analog to citizenship. But kinship reaches beyond the boundaries of citizenship, recognizing all our relations as members: the swimmers, flyers, four-leggeds, Manaduk and Adsokanak spirits, the earth, the sun, and moon. The challenge of good governance isn't just to be a good relative to human families, communities, and peoples, but to ensure that these relationships are reconcilable with the needs of all these other relations too. That is, there's a form of governance inherent in the earth itself, the earthway, which all other orders of creation know and follow. Life beyond the boundaries of human communities is inherently lawful and ordered, and a good relative learns to fit in. But how? At the very heart of being a good relative is a fairly simple idea: mutual aid. You've all been given and have all cultivated gifts, some sacred and unique to you, minigoiziwin, some mundane, skills developed, knowledge gained, labor performed. But no matter how the gift came, within Indigenous law, you have a responsibility to share. You have an equal responsibility to express when you're the one in need, for it is in the sharing of gifts to meet needs that community is sustained. And we have a great many legends about somebody getting either aspect of mutual aid wrong. The circle of gift sharing is what, at increasing levels of complexity, a good life, family, community, peoplehood, and creation itself look like. Mutual aid requires a politics of attunement, which privileges listening, watching, and careful reflection, and for us, it begins with the cradle board. It contrasts starkly with what I experience as the politics of loud pronouncement of liberal societies like Canada, my voice, now and always, and critically, as of right, entitled. When you experience community as a constellation of gifts, the natural response to belonging isn't expectation, but gratitude. And because of our gratitude, we reciprocate. We offer our gifts humbly up to creation without expectation. Enough of us still do that the sun rises each day. And here we come to a critical point about being a good relative and having belonging anchored in gratitude not an expectation. A gift is offered freely. Most, Derrida, and others failed to apprehend that within Indigenous societies, a gift may go back, but as an expression of shared belonging, not just of economic exchange. Far more often, it arcs forward through the curve of our circle, traveling for unknown time and distance before returning in another form from another relative. This has enormous implications for what reconciliation means. I think we've hardly begun its work because most of us don't yet accept that the earth is at the center. Our law does. It's truly the law of the land. And I want you to live as if you know that Indigenous law matters for your life, for your family, for your community. At Canada 150, I hope you choose to be a good relative. Being a good relative, no one can appropriate my stories. Not because I'm an Indigenous man, because of Indigenous law. You have no relationship with my stories. They're of my relatives, humans, animals, plants, spirits, all alive. They're not part of an intellectual commons just waiting to be brought to life by your particular unique imagination. To be able to tell the story is a beautiful gift, and if it is given to you, it's because it's already known that you will be grateful, that you will reciprocate. Being a good relative. Last Tuesday, I sat at the Turtle Lodge at Couchiching First Nation with the Trudeau Foundation. They wanted to better understand Indigenous perspectives and came to listen to others tell the story. Following the protocol of the lodge, we began with pipe and water ceremonies, and then the elders shared. Towards the end of the day, the elders asked if we had questions. In one day, in the right place, and with the right people, we'd already begun to understand about listening, and we let the invitation pass. At the farewell gala capping off the Trudeau Foundation conference, something even more remarkable happened. Two non-Indigenous women presented a poster-sized scroll they'd quietly purchased at Turtle Lodge called The Great Binding Law, in which a circle of elders articulate the Earthway. And they didn't gift it to the lodge, and they didn't gift it to me. They thanked me and honored the elders who shared, but gifted it to the staff of the foundation, who are the ones to keep that circle turning. Being a good relative, while acknowledging the apologies and resignations of recent days with respect to our national discussion on appropriation, of cultural appropriation, I've come tonight with a mandate from my elders, Dave Kershane and Harry Bone, to invite Jonathan Kay, Steve Laterante, Anne-Marie Owens, Andrew Coyne, Elizabeth Renzetti, and anybody else who argues in favor of opening cultural appropriation to debate, to sit with the elders at Turtle Lodge at some point this summer at a date to be decided that will work for most of us. To take up this offer, I'm easy to find. And if you come to our house, we will treat you with respect. All my relations.